What is makeup to me? Makeup is both therapeutic for myself and the client. Makeup connects. I've always considered makeup a form of art. Certain brushes tailor to specific details and enhancements. Makeup is a representation of personality.
Ladies, tune in, let's go. Faith and real talk, let his goodness show. Ladies unfiltered, women, faith, realness. Jennifer Jaye, fearless. Walking with God through life's ups and downs. Sharing his love all around. Yeah. On Praise FM, where to live. The light don't dim. We talk hope, health, and trust in Him. Ladies unfiltered, keeping it true. Right after better, keep finding you. Ladies unfiltered, keeping it true. With God at the center, keep finding you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fabulous episode of Ladies Unfiltered. I am Jeanne Joy, and I am here with my lovely co-hosts,
Jennifer Jaye.
And Miss V.
and we are so excited to talk about a holiday that hasn't been a holiday for very long. And I'm excited because it's Juneteenth, and there's a lot to discuss. There's history, there's the current celebrations, there's the reason why it's a holiday at all, which is an unfortunate fact, but you may have also noticed that we have an addition to our set here today, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But part of the reason that we wanted to have this episode is because we wanted to give a little light and shine a little information, but also experience into what this holiday is and what it means and why it's important and why we now are celebrating Juneteenth nationally as an observed holiday, not just as a local celebration or even just something in the Black community.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So the name Juneteenth comes from the combination of the dates of the observation originally, and it's a combination of the word June and the word 19th. And June 19th, 1865 is when that was officially like the listing of the freedom of those that were enslaved. And unfortunately, there was a long time after that Emancipation Proclamation came out before there was notice given, because, you know, they didn't have social media the way that we have today, and word didn't travel as fast. And let's be honest, it wasn't good news to everybody.
Not to everybody.
Okay, so because of that, there was a delay, and because of that delay, that's why the date rather of June the 19th became so popular. And it was first celebrated in the state of Texas, and although they were the last informed, so I love the fact that Texas was like, maybe we were the last to know, but we're gonna be the first ones to declare that this exactly. And so I love that for them. I wanted to just highlight that some of the celebrations look more like family reunions.
Yes.
They look more like food and games and fun, and usually they're why the holiday is being celebrated. I know that some people even read the actual Emancipation Proclamation so that they give that history passed along verbally as to why we are celebrating this date. And I also noted that there is a place in Houston called Emancipation Park, and that they read the proclamation there, and that's a wide celebration that takes place, and so there are people in that area that take part in that. But yeah, there's games, usually there's storytelling. Usually the elders of families are the ones leading the celebration, and I think part of the reason is because they have lived through, we're still in the time frame where the elders in our families have lived through some of these actual experiences. It's not something that has to be just listed from history, but we've still got people that are living that can share part of their story and part of their experience with family members. And I think that's so powerful. I remember speaking with my mom. She was born in 1936, and she was so excited to go and vote for President Obama because of everything that she lived through. She was like, Jeannie, I know that this is pretty normal for you, and not normal. I mean, he was the first black president, but I mean, she was like, it's normal for you to go through this process with all of these opportunities for people of different genetic background to be able to speak about it. But she was like, do you understand that when I was a child, this day was like something I could never even have dreamed would be possible. So she was like, I am absolutely going to cast my ballot because, first of all, I have the right to vote, even as a woman, even as even as a black woman. But not only can I vote as a black woman, but I can vote for a black man. This is historic. And so for my mother to be able to share that with me, for me to be able to share that with my kids to be able to share that with their kids while she was alive, that was so important for us to hear some of those stories from her. And Miss V, I know you have some lived experience as well, and you're the reason why we have the sign on the set today. So tell us a little more about your lived experience.
I will do that. Before I do that, though, I like to interject some information.
Sure.
And we are celebrating Juneteenth because it is looked at as the end of slavery. All right. And is there a question there? It's a black holiday or African American holiday. Can white people celebrate?
Absolutely.
Juneteenth?
I do.
Come on. Yes. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes.
Yes.
I'm from Free State, Kansas.
Yes.
So
Yes, Free State, Kansas. I love that.
Free States, yes, they
Yes.
celebrate.
I love it. I love
Awesome.
that.
So yes, it is okay for white people to celebrate Juneteenth. As a matter of fact, Black history is American history.
Absolutely.
So there's much to learn. And we're talking about trying to create justice for all people, right? Equality for all people. And getting to know each other, not be afraid of each
Absolutely.
other. Because some of us are different from someone else. And
That's
I just
right.
want to add in this discussion as well that what black Africans or Americans, black Americans have done is not just for black Americans.
No.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Getting equality is for people of color in general and the marginalized groups of folks. As well as the genders. Ladies.
Absolutely.
Right, ladies?
Absolutely.
So this action is something that has really helped America move forward in creating equality.
Definitely.
So yes, I brought these this little sign here, and it is, I'm gonna hold it up a little bit just to make sure. Colored women, colored men. I am 72. Believe it or not.
Looking fabulous, by the way. Okay.
Soon to be 73. And I came from the segregated South. And I spoke a little bit about this earlier in another episode where I came from Louisiana. I was in a segregated all-black school.
Wow.
And so, yes, and just as my dad was thinking about bringing us to Pennsylvania, he told us things were going to be a lot different for you when we moved to Pennsylvania.
Oh, boy.
The education system is going to be a little harder.
Yeah.
So again, that education piece I talked about, he made us study hard so that we would not be put back. And just as we were moving, they had integrated. Was starting to integrate the schools down there, and I was born a bit in elementary school, but I can remember as a young kid having to go downtown. It's in my book also, and we lived in a bubble pretty much, our black neighborhood. So I didn't have much contact with whites because we were self-sufficient within our own neighborhood. We had everything we needed except for some basic clothing kinds of things, you know, and going downtown to pay a bill or whatever it might be. But I can remember as a child that I had to move off the sidewalk to let white people pass. And my dad has always preached to us, you're no better than anyone else, and no one's better than you.
Amen to that.
So, and we were Christians as well. We were brought up in the church. So my little mind, my child mind said, wait a minute, something's wrong with that picture. Why do I have to move over?
Right.
For someone to walk past me. Right. You know? Right. And so I kept a lot of that stuff and put it down inside of me for years. Okay. But yes, this is kind of a reminder for me that that was a time in our history that we weren't treated well. All right. And I'm so glad, though. Yes. That our country, America, and I think I said this earlier, that I love America. Yes. I love what it stands for. However, I know things are not, even in this day and age. That's right. The way that we all want it to be, or desire to be, or are voting to have it be at this point in time. So I'm still hopeful, prayerful that things will turn around. Absolutely. For sure. All right. Absolutely. So yes, that's just one example of one of my lived experiences. And also, I was treated very nicely when I got to Pennsylvania, my little elementary school, and I was so afraid. I was hiding behind my mother's skirt, and when I first went, and all I saw was white faces. I didn't see anyone that looked like me, and and the teacher had not assigned me a seat or anything like that. So finally, this one little girl said she can sit beside me. And now, just, you don't know what that meant to me. Sure. As a little one, like, 7, 8 years old, you know? Yeah. And folks, just for your information, it came out to be a really good thing. And they were classmates of mine. And I had on one of our high school reunions, I went to her and I thanked her. Absolutely. For that moment. She's like, what you talking about, girl? I said, but you don't know how that impacted me and what that meant to me. And so she said, you're welcome. She just kind of dismissed it, you know. Right. But for a little black girl coming from Louisiana, that was the top, one of the top things that impacted my life. Wow. It gave me more hope. Okay. Yeah. And we were all good friends in elementary school. Wonderful. History is not that far away, people. That's right. What a wonderful firsthand experience. Thank you so much for sharing that, Miss V. And we have got to take a quick break, but we will be right back to talk more about Juneteenth. Stay with us.
Grand jury in New York City has refused to indict yet another white police officer said to have killed an unarmed black man.
Hate me because I'm a man of color, afraid of that which you don't understand. Instead of embracing me as a brother, you'd rather hate the ground I stand. Your ancestors brought mine here to enslave them. I should be the one who's filled with hate. But I choose to love, I choose forgiveness. Yet you choke me, won't let me breathe. I can't breathe. Let me breathe. Get your knee above my neck. You're killing me. I am more. I have destiny. Let me breathe. I can't breathe. You think that time would break the bond of hatred? That love would supersede color of skin. We've not come as far as I'd imagined. You've closed your heart, won't let me in. You can beat me, curse me, choke me and ignore me. But I choose to fly and soar above the hate. I'm not asking you to help me or to lift me. Just stop choking me. I need to breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Let me breathe. Let me breathe. Get your knee up off my neck. You're killing me. Hey, I am more. I am more. I have destiny. Let me breathe. I can't breathe. You're killing me. You're choking me. You're killing me. Oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Let me breathe. Let me breathe.
And if you enjoyed that song, it was by Maharold Peoples Jr., part of the Praise FM family, and that was called Let Me Breathe, and you can find it on all major media streaming outlets. So I hope you will go and download that right now, or wait till our show's over.
There you go.
And take a listen. He's also got a lot of other songs out. Miss B, that was a great song choice.
Thank you, thank you. It's powerful.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was just going to say that listening to it, it's such an important message. It is such an important way for us to honor the memory of those that unfortunately over the years have fallen victim. And I know that's not the topic that we're talking about today. It's Juneteenth, but in honor and in celebration of those Black Americans and the sacrifices of their lives that they gave. We honor that and we honor them. What a beautiful song.
I agree. And if I could just add,
Yes.
a lot of my white friends don't get it. And so what I try to compare when they say like Black Lives Matter and then they come back with, well, all lives matter. Well, of course, all lives matter.
Right.
But if Texas is flooding or on fire or whatever, we say pray for Texas, right?
Right.
Well, of
Great
course, you should
example.
still pray for Michigan and Minnesota and everybody else too.
Great.
So that is what we mean when we say Black Lives Matter. It's because we're trying to shine a light on what's happening
Exactly.
and bring attention to that. So it doesn't mean that everybody's life doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But I've got so many people in my community who don't get it.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to help them understand. So I had not heard of Juneteenth until I came to Phoenix.
Oh,
4 years ago.
Okay.
If I had heard of it, I didn't, like maybe in passing.
Right.
Or might have seen it on the calendar in the little tiny letters or something, but I didn't really know what it was. So
Right.
I
You're
learned
not,
about it.
Yes, that's not, and that's the norm. That's why
is.
we're doing
Yes.
this too today.
Yep.
To bring it to folks' attention and to educate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I love that we're doing it. Because
Absolutely.
you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's exactly
And it was just 2021
Yes.
when it was established as a federally recognized holiday. So that's still very recent.
Yes.
So that's just 5 years ago. So it
Right.
makes sense that I hadn't really.
Exactly.
The 13th Amendment.
Yeah, exactly. And so in honor of the holiday, as we mentioned before, a lot of people have picnic type activities. They have rodeos or music or singing and sometimes parades even and games. And of course, good soul food.
Right, festivals,
Of course.
and they want you to go and utilize
Yes.
the history that is in America. There are lots of African American museums that you can go to. A lot of the communities also are doing individual Juneteenth
That's true.
activities. I mean, from Goodyear to Mesa to Chandler,
Yes.
Glendale, all over the United States, actually, but in our state proper.
Right.
So please take advantage of the Juneteenth
Yes.
celebration.
Yes.
Take your children.
Yes.
Take your children.
Yes.
because
So true.
they need to learn starting young that
Right.
folks are folks.
That's right. People
Right?
are people.
Yeah, that's all it's about. And freedom. We talk about well, I can't do this now, and they're taking my freedoms. You know, everybody got their own freedoms and their own civil rights they want to protect.
It's true.
Why don't we protect everybody's freedom?
It's true.
Okay,
Right.
let's
It's
do
true.
that. Okay,
It's true.
And this is a start for African Americans specifically. But a lot of our freedoms are being treaded upon right now today. Not to get political, but let's be real. Real life is happening today, folks. Real life and real. We're acquiescing to some entity and deity that I'm not going to talk too much about.
Right. But that's real life meeting real faith.
Yes.
And part of the education side here is educating our audience on what Juneteenth is like, because as you said, Jennifer, first of all, it hasn't been a holiday for that long. Second of all, if you aren't of the Black community, you didn't necessarily have your grandparents telling you stories the same way we had our grandparents telling us stories.
Right.
And so you might want to support, but you might not know what to do or where to go or how to.
Or feel comfortable.
Or feel comfortable. That's exactly right. So I love that you said, now that you know, you partake.
Well, I like what you said about feel comfortable because, like you said, can white people celebrate?
I wanted to put that out there.
There's a
Right.
big festival even in Tempe, down at Tempe Town Lake, on the beach there.
Yeah.
And some people might think, well, is
Right.
that-
Not for
is
me.
it okay for me to go?
Right.
Exactly.
Are they going to look at me funny?
Right.
And-
So true.
And it's for everybody.
It
And,
is.
and there's no violence. It's about love, freedom, equality,
Yes.
and justice, social
Food,
justice,
Celebration.
dancing.
Yes.
The good part of America.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely,
The good part of
absolutely.
America.
I wanted to also call out that red is one of the colors that is used in celebrations, not only in the food like watermelons and strawberries and red velvet cake. Come on, somebody. But also it's because of the blood and the sacrifice.
Yes.
And because of the looking at and remembering that history
Yes.
and not wanting to let that history die with
Exactly.
those that made the ultimate sacrifice.
yes.
And so one thing that I love about our country is we do celebrate different groups at
Yes.
different
Yes, we
times.
do.
And not to segregate again or
Right.
exclude, but as you said, Jennifer, to highlight.
Right.
You know, I learn a lot about the Hispanic community
Right.
or the Asian American Pacific Islander community,
Yes, yes.
those that I'm not ethnically a part of, but I
Right.
learn so much.
Absolutely.
And so I would love to invite, especially those that are not Black or African American, to come out and learn, be educated,
Absolutely.
experience, and show solidarity
Amen.
with your American brothers and sisters that just
Amen.
happen to be of Black or African American descent, because this is a time, as you mentioned, Miss V, this is a time that so much divides us.
Yes.
It's so easy to say, I'm different than you, I'm different than you, or I don't agree with you, or I don't like that. When we can have an opportunity to come together
Absolutely.
and just say the purpose of this is to pay homage and to honor those that had this experience. And if I don't know it, I can learn about it. And while I'm learning about it, I can show you that I care, because
Right.
showing up Action shows that I care.
Yes. Right.
And showing up to those events and celebrations allows the sponsors and the vendors and the businesses to know that, okay, this is something that if I take part of, I'm going to have a nice crowd.
Right.
I'm going to have a nice audience to present to. So that's important also. And small businesses are represented usually. What were you going to say, Ms. V?
It's not just about the commercialization of it either. Because it is a very new holiday. And that, like everything else in America, it's capitalism.
Okay. You're right. No, you're right.
You know, but the historical themes of Juneteenth. It's a celebration and a remembrance. It's about the impact of the American Civil War, the importance of freedom and citizenship, ongoing pursuit of racial reconciliation and healing.
Absolutely.
Particularly healing for blacks, because we have a lot of wounds.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of internal wounds, folks. So,
absolutely.
And, you know, it may come off as some other old crazy behavior or, you know, destructive kind of situation, but we have a lot of healing we need to do.
Yeah.
African American contributions to the American history and culture.
Yes.
Reminds America of its history and encourages continued growth toward justice, equality, and unity for all people.
Yes.
Voting rights.
Okay.
All right. Educational rights, economic equality. So all of that is balled up in this one little Juneteenth. And you know, it's a delayed reaction, but you know, we're getting it together.
We are so important, so important. I agree, and I'm so thankful that you brought up a lot of those historical facts, because you're exactly right. What we don't want to do is get so far into the celebration part that we don't pause and remember the history and remember the sacrifice and remember why it needs to be a holiday in the first place, because you know that is not to be celebrated, but it is to be remembered. We do not want to forget history, because then we allow ourselves to get in a place where we could repeat it. And so again, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because it is a time for us to pause. And Jennifer, I just want to get your perspective in one area about Juneteenth, and that is, I know it's newer for you and the celebrations and all, but I also know that being in marriage that is interracial, do you think that has helped you to learn more or to accept more, or because you were from Free State, Kansas, was it always just kind of there?
Well, my mother raised us not to be prejudiced.
Gotcha.
So my father, however, had us, you know, as part of an all-whites elite, he called it.
Okay.
Like Elks Club and stuff. So we had kind of both worlds.
Okay.
But joining actually Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church.
Oh,
What opened my eyes to so many other things.
Great point.
And I didn't meet Howard in the church, but you know, he's part of the church now. But he has taught me some things as well, but not all of those are positive things, because like I've noticed, he'll get pulled over in times when I wouldn't.
Okay.
I can drive without having my driver's license with me, but he can't. He's got
not without peril.
That's right.
Not without peril and risk.
Right.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And like he'll get followed around stores if we don't stay together. And I say I'm going to go down and get some tissue paper. If you want to run over and get the green beans, he'll come back and he's being followed around the store. So things are very, very different in life for him as a black person than they are for me as a white person. And the only thing I can glean from that is that it's skin color. It's because there's other than male and female. Right. That's the only thing. And he actually was followed around in one of the stores that I work at. And until we got back together, he texted me and said, they're following me. And when I got there and saw who it was, I introduced him and said, this is my husband.
Wow. Okay.
What was the reaction? What was the reaction?
Blank stare and then a smile. First, just like deer in the headlights.
Of course.
And then, like, good to meet you. And went on his way. And he didn't follow him anymore. So initially, I learned about Juneteenth in the church at Rest. And learned a lot more about things culturally from being part of the church.
Right. Well, thank you.
Could I be transparent. To be honest, I didn't learn about Juneteenth until about 6-7 years ago.
Right.
Myself.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because it was not widely and publicly celebrated.
I understand. Yeah.
So I had to educate myself
Sure.
as well on Juneteenth.
Sure.
And I'm choosing to believe there are other black folks
Absolutely. Same.
that don't know the real reasons for it.
Right.
All right. And that we
Right.
need to educate ourselves as well to this newly
Absolutely.
legal holiday in
Absolutely.
America.
Yeah, 'cause it's an
Absolutely.
important one.
Yes.
It's
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to say one more thing. I know we're wrapping up too.
Okay.
That is another thing where racism still exists
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
in America.
Great.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Great point.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we still need to work on what our relationships with other folks in this world and in America.
Mm-hmm.
And there still still is white privilege. So we just have to be transparent in that and
Yeah.
say that. Just based on skin color. All right.
Yeah.
So yes, you have access and privilege that we would not normally have.
Yeah.
Just
And
based
I
on our
can
skin
attest to
color.
that.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. I hope that you learned something new. The importance of this holiday is what we wanted to convey today. So
Right.
thank you again for joining Ladies Unfiltered,
Unfiltered,
where
where
real
real
life
life
meets
meets
real
real
faith. See you next time.
Ladies Unfiltered, keeping it true. With God at the center, keep finding you.